So, Matt, you see how last week I went out and got Battenberg after our episode?
Or did you?
Yeah, well, no, I went to Tesco's to get the Battenberg because we talked about it for almost an hour.
Yeah.
And they didn't have it. I was in my pyjamas, got changed, walked up in the rain to get Battenberg, and they didn't have it.
The evil bastards.
The evil corporate bastards at Tesco that don't give me my Battenberg. Like, what? I left the house at 10 o'clock at night while it's raining, in the dark, in the cold, in the wet, and they didn't have any Battenberg. It's like they didn't know I was coming for that.
I genuinely think they're racist.
Yeah, Tesco's are racist. Because they never give me what I want. Like, this Tesco's here that I've got don't even have a Krispy Kreme section.
Yeah, what?
They don't even have a Krispy Kreme section.
They don't have a Krispy Kreme section?
Nope.
Oh, what's the point of existing?
I know, right? They've just got their own donut.
Oh,
No,
who
you don't
wants
go
that?
for...
No.
Who wants Tesco brand donuts? If I'm going to go for a donut, I don't have them often. If I'm going to go for a donut, I'm going to go for a really fucking good donut.
Yeah.
Why bother? Seriously, why bother?
Yeah. I tell you what, Tesco, I tell you what's really nasty about Tesco, their chips. Their own brand chips.
I've never had their own brand chips.
Oh, I had to eat them when I was a teenager, when I lived with my uncle and aunt, and they're disgusting. Yeah. It's like eating sawdust or something like that.
I usually don't even buy chips. I prefer wedges because they're seasoned. So I get McCann's wedges. Probably have some of that later. I bought myself a chicken Kiev while I went to go to get Battenberg last week.
Yeah.
And it's still in the fridge. I should probably eat that before it expires.
Yeah.
I didn't just get it half an hour ago. I got it last week.
I know.
So, the chicken Kiev won't last much longer.
Shit.
Need to eat that soon.
Yeah, I'd eat that now, actually, while we're recording.
Yeah, while we're recording. I'll just pop off. I'll put it in the oven.
Yeah.
I'll go down in about 20 minutes, get it out. I'll eat. I'll nosh while we're talking.
Yeah, I mean, we won't be missing much, so...
No, we're just going to be ranting and raving about racism.
Yeah. It's an ideal time to have a chicken Kiev, basically.
Yeah, like, why not? Like, who's racist to chickens? No one.
Well,
They're
farmers.
Sweden, and they're Switzerland. Can't even talk Switzerland in this debate.
What, the
They don't get involved. Chicken, the life of a chicken must be great before, they get their heads chopped off.
I don't know, for, like, the battery ones.
I don't buy battery chickens. To be honest, I don't buy chicken that often
doesn't mean
anyway.
they don't exist, though.
Yeah, I know. But it's like the part of life that you want to ignore. I mean, I don't care about the murders and shit, but don't want to think about battery farm chicken.
They do taste nice, though, chicken.
All chickens taste nice unless they're undercooked for whatever reason. Yeah. Chicken's just... Chicken's great. It's like the best meat.
You can't like, lose with chicken.
Yeah, but then again, if you had to survive on a certain meat, you'd go for, like, a cow, right? Because you could get different areas of the body.
True.
And you have different things from it.
Yeah.
Whereas chicken, it's just chicken.
Yeah.
So, like, chicken is great, but could you eat it for every meal for the rest of your life? You've got to have a cow.
Yeah.
At least you could switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I don't eat cows.
You can eat different bits of pigs.
Yeah, yes.
Plus you could talk to a pig.
Yeah, because they talk back.
Well, the pigs and humans are quite similar.
So are cows and humans.
No,
their DNA is quite similar.
Is that pigs are more like men. Well,
I'm not going to argue with that. I was just thinking, you know how we've got a time machine, right?
Yeah.
At the Dorks Deduction. I was thinking, how about we go back in time, we find the guy that wrote Back to the Future before he's written Back to the Future and tell him the story of Back to the Future. So that way we've basically come up with Back to the Future.
That is actually a good idea.
I know, right? Why do we never use our time machine for good?
Yeah.
We just go to dance with Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, this time machine that I'd completely forgotten about.
Yeah, I know. I forgot because we had it in the Trolls episode almost a year ago. But no, we definitely have a time machine. Like, because we go back in time. We went back in time a bit when we were talking about the Charlie Sheen thing.
Yeah. I mean, how did we know that? It's incredible.
But yeah, so we'll go back in time and implant the idea in their head.
This is genius.
We should do the same for, I don't know, what should we do the same for?
Nazis? You can take credit for that. That's like,
this is the race episode. No Nazi jokes.
Okay, we don't want that.
We can't have Nazi jokes in the race episode. No Nazism. Okay. We do not implant the idea of the Nazi. Shit, is that what you were doing last week? While I went off to Tesco's, did you go back in time, Matt? To Germany?
No, but that wasn't me. I'm not looking guilty at all.
Basically committed genocide.
Yeah, but it's in a lot of books. You've got a lot of films out of it, so you win all round, really, don't you? You win.
You know what you win? You win Oscars for war movies.
To be fair, that's what Ricky Gervais said to Kate Winslet.
Yeah,
do the Holocaust film, and you get the Oscar. Did she get the Oscar? Yeah, she did, didn't she?
It's true. You do either get the Oscar or no one watches it. Because no one watches it for fun. Like, on a Saturday, are you going to go out and say, oh my God, let's go watch a Holocaust movie. It's going to be so much fun. No, you don't do that. Unless, it's getting traction with the Oscars and they're everywhere and it's being advertised everywhere because of the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like, you don't pay attention to that because I don't want to be depressed and crying in a cinema.
They are good films. I say good films to watch. I don't say they're fun films to watch, but they are good films to watch.
Yeah, but you're not eager to watch them. Like, I'm not going to go out to the cinema and watch it.
I don't know.
I will wait for the DVD and sit at home so I can cry freely.
Yeah, I do tend to watch Holocaust films at home.
Like, I watch sad movies. I don't watch them in the cinema. I watch them at home. I'm not doing that. If I know I'm going to cry, I'm not watching it in public.
Yeah.
Even though I did go watch the last Harry Potter movie in the cinema, and I knew I was going to cry, and I did cry buckets.
But you wouldn't have been the only one, I guess.
I sort of was.
Really?
I went with, Julia and Chris, and Chris binge-watched the Harry Potter movies before we watched it, but he wasn't, a die-hard fan. Julia had never watched a Harry Potter movie. So I'm sitting there in between both of them, just crying my eyes out from start to finish. And then I was just like, why is it over? Why?
Yeah, but to be fair, that's our teenage years, just kind of.
It's before teenage years, man. It came out when we were still children, basically. Especially if you think in the books. Again, no, let's not, because we had the Harry Potter episode a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we got some.
We're not going to retread old waters.
Yeah, we shouldn't go back to that.
You know what they did have in the Harry Potter movies, though?
Sex?
No. They had different ethnicities. Like, you've got the Dean Thomas, the black kids in it.
Yeah.
You've got Lee Jordan.
Yeah.
I can't recall seeing... And you got Cho Chang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else did he have? He had the Patel.
Yeah, the Parvati and Padma Patel. Yeah, she had all bases covered, man.
Yeah. Didn't have Mexicans, though. That's the only thing. I mean...
Pardon?
Didn't have Mexicans, though.
It's a wizarding school in England. I'm assuming there must be a wizarding school closer to Mexico.
Is there? I didn't hear her mention it. Perhaps she's anti-Mexican.
No, but I know that J.K. Rowling said there are other wizarding schools. It's just we saw the 3 that are in Europe.
She's just trying to defend herself.
Yeah, possibly. But anyway, this is not idle chit-chat, is it, Matthew?
No, it isn't. No. We're really talking about something quite important today.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about race because of the recent... I don't know if the Oscars have been on yet or if they're going to be on. Not because we pre-record the episode and I don't know when this is going to go out, because I do know when this is going to go out. It's because I don't pay attention to the Oscars, so I don't know when that's on. I know it's in March sometime. I know the Golden Globes, are in January. The BAFTAs are in February. The Oscars are in March. And then the European ones are all through summer because they're fun. Yeah, that's all I know about that. Yeah. But anyway, because I think in the past 2 years, wasn't it, all the acting nominations have been white. So there was a bit of controversy surrounding that and how the Oscars are racist. So because we don't pay attention to the Oscars, we're not going to go specifically to that. We're just going to be talking about race in film. And racism in film, possibly. Yeah, we're going to be serious people this time. Yeah. Occasionally we do it. Usually not in public, but occasionally we do it. But before that...
Oh, yeah, I know what's coming up.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you doing it or am I doing it?
I did it last time. So.
I'm trying to think of a different way to do it, because you do the yelling, I did the quiet whisper, and the zombie one. We need to think of more ways of doing it.
Do it orgasmically.
I can't do it orgasmically.
No, I can't do that.
I'm trying to think of ways to say it now.
Do it in a foreign accent, seeing it's a racism one.
I'm not... I can't... what accent?
The most racist accent you can think of, do it.
I'm not doing a racist accent. Okay, you know what? Intro music.
Is that it?
Yeah, no, we're going to have to... Because I couldn't think of the way to say it, all right?
God.
How do you want me to say it?
You can do anything other than
It's time for the intro music.
Yeah, there you go. You said it.
Well, that was nothing, though. That was just me saying it's time for the intro music.
Well, we'll have to make do with that now.
It is now time for the intro music. Over to you, Matthew.
That's not too bad, actually.
Welcome to the Dorks Deduction podcast, where we talk about stuff.
I'm doing the BBC accent.
BBC, yeah.
Yeah, they have to sound... They can't sound like any accent, can they? They have to sound neutral.
Not anymore, I don't think so, no. That's
well,
how
now
it
they're
used
letting
to be.
people have accents.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that kind of thing. You don't want Yorkshire people talking to me. Oh, yeah, we're not meant to be being
And then I'm
racist.
taking it back from Matt. I'm taking the reins back from Matt.
Yeah.
It is not over to you, Matthew.
Right, so we've got to be serious now, because...
Well, as serious as we could be.
Yeah. Just, you've got to avoid being racist throughout this episode.
You're the one that brought up Nazism in this episode that's about racism.
Good point, but we'll ignore that. Yeah, but you've been racist throughout the entire podcast, kind of, that we've been recording.
But then I am racist to everyone equally. That means I'm not actually racist, I just hate you all. I don't care about this colour of your skin, I just don't like people.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to be, really.
Whatever you do, don't drop the N-word, okay?
I'd never drop the N-word.
We'll probably never record a podcast again if you do that.
Because some people might be a bit touchy about it and decide the Oscars are so white.
Yeah.
Don't really pay attention to Oscars or award season, purely because a lot of the time I don't actually like the movies that they go on about.
Yeah.
Because they're made to win those Oscar awards, and it seems so contrived.
Yeah.
They don't seem good to me. I like originality, or I like certain directors, but I just can't be bothered to pay attention to award season, because it's like they're telling me I have to like these movies when a lot of the time, I'm not gonna lie, I find them boring. What about you?
I've never really been a big fan of a lot of the films that are up for Oscars. I don't tend to think they're the best films most of the time, but then I'm not a kind of huge fan of American films in general.
The thing is, they do try. They pretend it's not American films.
Yeah.
But it is American films. Because any other film, they get put in, like, the foreign language categories. They don't even get a look in the proper... what they deem the major awards.
Yeah.
But I will say I love Birdman.
You do, yeah.
I do love Birdman. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the only decent film that's probably won an Oscar recently.
Yeah. To be honest, I can't... Other than Birdman, I can't recall any of the best picture wins or the best... I was going to say best actor or actress wins, or other than, like, the Jennifer Lawrence one, because everyone went on about it. And I think Matthew McConaughey won one recently as well. Didn't he play someone with HIV or something? Oh, so again, that's like a role that's supposed to get an Oscar.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about it's so contrived. You have to play like real people or people with major mental or health issues or some sort of historical point in time.
Yeah.
You will get those Oscars.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I don't think it showcases the originality and creativity in film. It showcases what they deem good films and they deem highbrow. So I don't put much stock in them, but apparently some people do. Because they've gotten a bit upset because there are no black acting nominations this year, I don't think. Is it just acting nominations? I don't know. I think it's just... They're kicking up a fuss just because there was no acting nominations given out to some black people. Can I just say, when was the last time a Bengali person was nominated?
Well, that is a point I've heard. But...
Yeah, like, I don't understand why... Okay, so why do people care that there were no black people nominated? Where are the Chinese people? Where are the Bengali people? Where are the, I don't know, Egyptian people? Where are the Sri Lankan people?
Some people say, what about, like, even, like, the Mexicans? You
Exactly.
don't see many of them kind of nominated. I mean, how many do you see in films? And I'm not actually sure about that, but
Yeah. But that's the problem, is it's the industry as a whole. So the
Yeah.
Oscars, they're nominating the stuff that's out there.
yeah.
If it's not out there, how can they nominate
To
it?
be fair to the Oscars, they what was that? Was that film Precious or something?
Yeah.
That was out for years. They
Yeah,
gave,
yeah.
There was, I think, a few awards for that, wasn't there?
There was loads of awards.
So
And, like,
it's not as if they
the-
totally ignored kind
Like,
of
every film that comes out about slavery.
yeah.
Almost every film that comes out about slavery. No, that's one that annoyed me, actually. 12 Years a Slave, that was
Yeah.
out a few years ago. Chiwetel Ejiofor, he should have won.
Yeah.
Like, if the Oscars were correct,
Meant something.
and it wasn't a huge campaign, he would have won. Because he was brilliant in that film. I'm not going to lie. I loved that film, and I thought he was brilliant. And it's like one of the... I did actually watch that film in the cinema, and I did cry. I went with a few other people.
Yeah.
It was gut-wrenching. And then I watched it again. It's still gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did pay attention to an Oscar movie, and I forgot.
But didn't Steve McQueen win the director?
He did win, yeah. I'm not...
So
yeah. And he is also a black man.
He's also a talented director as well.
He is a talented director.
Yeah.
He has a fascination with Michael Fassbender's penis, though.
Yeah.
I feel because every movie that Fassbender's in with him, he wasn't even undressed in 12 Years a Slave, and you could still see it.
Yeah. Didn't he play a dick in that film as well? Anyway.
Yeah, he played a slave owner.
Yeah.
And also, Michael Fassbender did very well in that movie as well. So if Oscars had any merit, they would have nominated him.
Yeah.
But they didn't, because he was a very horrible, unkind man, I guess.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to... I guess it was more... What's the word? Political correctness that he didn't win. He didn't get nominated. Because they didn't want to offend black people.
Yeah.
So...
But
The thing is, if you start nominating people because of the colour of their skin, isn't that more racist than nominating them for being good or not?
it's kind of patronising, isn't it? In a way.
That's like having the token black nominee, the token Chinese nominee, the token whatever nominee, and you're taking nomination away from someone that might deserve it, whether they're white or not. So you shouldn't actually look at the colour of people's skin when you're actually looking at these things. If you're judging people by their performance, you don't look at the colour of the skin.
Yeah.
You don't look at the colour of the skin when you're nominating them, so you shouldn't look at the colour of the skin when they've not been nominated, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it does. What I would say, the argument is that some people are just saying, it's just like the film's out there. I mean, I've heard Straight Outta Compton, is it?
I've heard that's pretty good, actually. I've not watched it, but I heard it's good. I heard the acting's good.
Yeah.
But it's also Eminem 8 Mile stuff. So it's just about gangland and violence.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And I'm just like, really? Is that like the thing that you want to push to the forefront?
Yeah.
And where are the white actors in Straight Outta Compton? The thing is, they talk about these films and how there's an all-white cast, but you've got movies with all black casts.
Yeah.
Like, where are the white people in those casts? In those casts? That cast?
Yeah.
It's a two-way street, really.
Yeah, I think that is a good point. There's negative attitudes on both sides of the kind of argument, I think. But
I'm not going to say that there isn't a problem with, like, racism in Hollywood, because maybe there is.
Yeah, I think...
Because some people are racist. Some of those people could be casting directors.
Yeah.
And also, but then again, if you think about it, isn't most of the world's population white anyway? They're starting to mix together, and we've got more mixed races, but the majority of, like... Yeah, especially... And the majority of America, right?
It's
white.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, so there is sort of a representation of...
Yeah, I do think that's something that's missed sometimes. Like, in Britain, it's still... relative.
I don't think it's that much of a problem with Britain, because Britain is very multicultural, so you do actually see that on TV and films. It is represented fairly well.
I don't know, to be fair to like America, it is one of the most diverse countries out there in terms of it does have quite a big mix of like you've got kind of, you know,
you've got a lot of people, a lot of different races in there, but it's a huge country.
Yeah.
When they started getting immigrants, it was European immigrants, right? So they're mainly white.
Yeah.
So I think... I did see a tally. I'm pretty sure white is the majority race
in America.
Yeah. So it's not... if you were to watch a movie that was set in a predominantly white area,
Yeah.
and you saw loads of black people or Mexican people, whatever, wouldn't that just feel forced to you?
Yeah.
If you went to that neighbourhood or whatever, you wouldn't see that there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see the point of putting them in if they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, then maybe there is racism in Hollywood. Who knows? Well,
I guess it, but I think the problem is you've got a standard because America is a kind of diverse country. Whereas if you look maybe somewhere like India, which has got kind of Bollywood, I mean, do you see many kind of white people in those films?
actually, you know what? They do cast some. They get
Yeah.
some from, like, England, they get some from Australia, they get some from America. They do cast
Yeah.
some white people. Like, but quite a few Bollywood films get filmed in England as well, so
Yeah.
you do have lots of people around.
Yeah.
So even in Bollywood, yeah, there is some sort of diversity. But if it's set in India about Indian people,
Yeah.
there's going to mainly be Indians.
Yeah. I think that's the point. Like Hollywood's, if you're asking it to be a bit more representative of the country, and America is, it's relatively diverse.
But then that's not the Oscars' fault, is it? That's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the casting director's fault, and it's the screenwriter's fault,
Yeah.
or it's the director's fault. So I do think there should be some sort of colourblind casting policy,
Yeah.
but Hollywood is also very superficial. Like,
I think there is a point that I concede is that at like the top of Hollywood, I think in the kind of beauty ideal, because there was an author, Maya Angelou. She's dead now, but in a book she wrote, I think it's The Cage Bird Sings or something. She kind of makes a point that in kind of society, although kind of black people can be accepted, they're not seen as like the ideal of beauty. That's always kind of like white people. I kind of see that in Hollywood.
No, I understand that. I get that. Because if you see black celebrities, like you see like people like Beyonce or whatever, on the cover of a magazine, can you see the lighting and the makeup they use to make her look so Aryan, or make any black actress look kind of Aryan?
You very kind of like rarely see them like front page. They're not.
And even if you do, you don't see them with their actual hair. You see them all coiffed and have like the chemicals straightened or whatever. They don't look normal. They don't look like themselves.
Yeah.
When you do see them, they look completely different.
Yeah. A point I would also concede, like, as well. To me, I don't really care about the Oscars, but I can imagine there's like some kind of black actors out there that do care about it because it's kind of recognition, and I suppose.
Yeah, but that's another thing I don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't mind them existing, the Oscars. It's just these top-level people, they're just voting for each other, right?
Yeah.
So I always felt like I don't like the MTV Movie Awards or anything like that, because I think the stuff that they nominate and stuff that wins are shit anyway. But it is audiences that vote for that.
Yeah.
They're the people that are watching it. Whereas stuff like Oscars and BAFTAs and Golden Globes, it's the people that are industry that are voting for it. And I get that it's nice getting recognition from your peers, but it's not actually about the quality of work. I mean, everyone knows it's about campaigning. You go to these parties, you get your face out there, you convince people to vote for you. It's like a political campaign. It's not about who has the best movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think Citizen Kane, that's it. The year Citizen Kane came out, that was not the movie that won. It was some random movie that no one can remember now to this day.
Yeah.
They probably had a better campaign. And now, how long ago was Citizen Kane made? Like a very long time ago.
40s
that
or
people
50s,
still know it.
wasn't it?
Yeah. People still know it to this day. Like, I had to watch it in film class and write about it.
I have to admit, I think it's overrated, personally.
No, me too. Don't worry about that. But I'm saying, as an iconic film, that didn't win. A film that nobody would know about today, nobody's probably heard of today, won. Because they probably had the better campaign. It's the same a lot of years, really.
Yeah.
Because you always like look at. I don't actually watch the awards show. Sometimes I look at the list of winners and stuff, and I'm just like, really, that one?
Yeah.
I do get that a lot.
Yeah, it's
because of who had the best campaign. So it's not about who gave the best performance. It's not really about who gave the best performance or who had the best movie. So I understand that actors and directors, they might want recognition, but I don't think it's the Oscars is where they get that from.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that people go to see your movie. That's why. That's what if I was acting in a movie, or if I was writing for a movie, or if I was directing a movie, that's what my recognition would be. If people went to watch a movie and a few people liked it. It doesn't have to be like millions or hundreds of millions of people that watched it, but a few people that liked it. Isn't that recognition enough? That's why you do your job, right?
I mean,
and it's a job that you get paid for, okay? You're doing it anyway.
I mean, if I was a filmmaker, I wouldn't care about the award ceremonies. They're so, like, self-congratulating.
You'd care about Cannes. I know you'd care about Cannes.
No, I don't even like Cannes.
Yes, you would.
No, I don't even like Cannes.
You want the Palme d'Or.
I honestly
I care about Cannes because I really just... It looks like a nice place to go to.
The only film festival I think of going is Venice, just because I like Venice. Really.
I would like to go Sundance just because I want to ski at some point.
I don't.
I want to try skiing.
I'd shit myself skiing.
Yeah, I know, but I want to try it. So basically, we want to go to these... Actually, no, Sundance isn't even an award show. It's a film festival.
Sundance has got to be...
They do have awards, though, don't they? Or do they not?
I guess they do. Do they?
I don't know. I think it might just be... Because it's for indie movies, right? They're getting distribution. I think it's just for showing the films.
Yeah.
So the one that I picked wasn't even an award show.
Yeah. See, I said I don't like American. I don't mind, like, some of the American independent films. They're good.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying all American movies are shit.
But earlier I said I don't like American films in general. But
okay. I like American films because there's no way to not like it because they're everywhere. I mean, the output is immense. They release more movies a year than any other country other than India, I guess. Because I think Bollywood ends up making more money than Hollywood, actually.
Yeah.
So, I think they release more movies than most other countries. So, of course, you're going to like at least some.
Yeah.
Most of, like, the movies I've got are American. I'm pretty sure most of them are American. Most of the TV shows I've got are American. So, I don't hate American stuff because, obviously, I clearly like them. I go out and purchase them.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking these specific ones that come out from about October till March.
Yeah.
Hate that time of year.
No, I think...
Because it gets shoved down your throat as well.
Yeah. Also, I think, like, films like The King's Speech and The Danish Girl.
So boring. I kept falling asleep during The King's Speech. I fell asleep twice during The King's Speech before I decided to turn it off.
Yeah.
And give up. That's what I don't like about Oscars. The only British movies they recognise are stuff like that.
Yeah. My problem was that, like, The Danish Girl, it's so tame. Like, the original story is actually really interesting, really moving. But they turn it into something, like, really tame. And I don't get, when you've got an interesting story like that, why you have to change things.
I've
in a
not
way
watched
that doesn't actually... I don't think it adds to this, story. In fact, it actually takes away from what I understand. So...
I've not watched it, but it did seem like an Oscar bait movie to me when I had first heard about it. I was like, I know what. And they cast Eddie Redmayne as well, so of course, because he just got off the. Did he win last year or the year before? He won at some point.
Yeah, he won. Well, he won for the.
I think it won last year,
didn't he? Yeah.
Huh?
He won for the Stephen
Hawking film. The thing is, that Stephen Hawking film, so boring, but he was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I do like Eddie Redmayne.
So do I. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But then, like, he's lucky because he's not handsome. Like, I don't want to offend anyone, but he's not, like, the conventional, chiseled actor type person. So he can sort of, like, you don't think of him as sexually appealing. He can play anything.
Yeah.
And that sounds really harsh of me. I'm not trying to sound horrible. But do you understand what I mean? You're not getting distracted by that.
Kind of.
Like, you don't get... He's not there to be a leading man. He's there to be an actor. So he doesn't have to get pigeonholed as, like, a Hugh Grant of 2016 being, like, the romantic lead in, like, every movie out in a year.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's unattractive. No,
I don't think he's unattractive. I think...
He's maybe not classically...
It's just he's not conventionally good-looking, if you understand. Yeah, he's not conventionally good-looking.
He's not...
That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Of.
He's not like Brad Pitt.
Or Chris
I don't fancy
Hemsworth,
Brad Pitt.
Or that kind of
Chris Hemsworth.
Type.
Yeah, Thor. You're thinking of Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not conventionally good-looking. I'm not saying he's not good-looking, because I think he is. But then, again, I don't like the conventionally good-looking guys, apparently. But I think he's good-looking. I just don't think he's conventionally good-looking. He's not the chiseled beauty that Hollywood sucks up
Yeah.
and spits out
Yeah.
in every other romantic comedy. So I think he's lucky because then he could just play all these interesting parts. He's not bogged down by, him being so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I sound like a bitch. I'm no beauty either. But I am not saying he's ugly. I'm trying to defend my words now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ugly. I think he's good looking. It's just he's not conventionally good
No, I understand
looking.
what you mean. It's like,
Okay.
it's the same.
It took me about 5 minutes to clarify that.
It's the same for, like, some actresses, though. They're not, like, they're maybe not the most conventionally good looking, but you like them more for that, I think, in a way.
Yeah.
Sometimes...
They're more like, because if they're so chiseled and so perfect, they're not relatable. Or it's distracting. I'm just like, why is she so beautiful, yet she's doing this, and she's working in a shop here, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's quite distracting if they're too beautiful.
It's like, I think I went with my friends to see The Big Short.
Oh, how was that? So basically, you've
I
gone to see all the Oscar movies.
I wasn't that big fan of it. It's all right.
Is that the one with J.K. Simmons? Not J.K. Simmons, Bryan Cranston.
No. Brian Cranston, I think
else.
he's that's the communist one, I think, Brian Cranston. No, it's the one, it's about, part of the financial crisis, as you talked about Bernie Madoff earlier. It's something similar to that.
Oh, okay.
Well, not entirely similar, but this guy predicted, like, the financial crisis, and he brought, like, it's all to do, like, the housing market and stuff like that, and how it's all very fragile. And he made a load of money off the fact that we just kind of went into crisis, basically. And
okay.
it was all right, but it's just like, my problem with it was you've got people like Brad Pitt going, but people are going to be really poor, they're going to lose homes, they're going to lose... And it's just a bit... You don't take it seriously when it's coming from Brad Pitt and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, that was the same thing. In, like, 12 Years a Slave, he produced it.
Yeah.
But then it was still a bit odd to see him pop up. He played the one nice white guy in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a bit funny.
I always kind of find a problem, like, with Hollywood is that it's always got to try and make the white guys look good as well.
Well, not really. Like, it depends.
I don't know. It's like Schindler's List. It always, the whole point of the Holocaust was the fact that people, did ignore the fact Jews were getting persecuted and stuff like that. But they chose to make a film about a guy helping them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's really getting the point, necessarily.
That is true.
And it's like
very true,
it's like
actually.
in films,
I never thought about it like that, but that's true.
It's like in films with, like, kind of like either slavery or racism. There's always got to be the one white guy who, is standing up for them. And while that character's there, I always feel it's like it's trying to make white people feel good about themselves or something.
Yeah, no, it's like we're not all bad.
It's like in I always find it in detective dramas. With, sometimes there's like the racist detective, but then there's always like the nice detective who's kind of hates racism and stuff like, as he should, but. It does feel a bit patronising sometimes, yeah. I don't like, particularly, I always found one problem I had with House was it always, the way they brought up racism kind of issues always felt really contrived.
In House?
Yeah.
I don't even remember any racism. Oh,
well, they had, I forget, Foreman, the character.
Oh, yeah. I remembered Omar Epps. I couldn't remember his character's name.
It always just felt like really forced and contrived when they brought it up.
And it did, because I didn't see his race in that. And shouldn't that be what it's like? Because I didn't look at him like a black man, I looked at him like a doctor.
Do you not see
like, why do people need to point it out?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there isn't an issue.
Yeah. I just feel if you want to deal with that, you can do that without... there's no, like, subtlety. They always just make it so obvious what they're talking about. Whereas you can do that without kind of resorting to saying what you're doing. Yeah. I think there are issues there.
There are issues. There's always going to be an issue with race, as long as we all are different races. But think, in 100 years, we'll all be beige anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter then. But there's always going to be an issue with race.
Yeah.
It's just, who gives a shit about an award ceremony? That's basically it.
Yeah. What I'd say is another problem is American, like, representation in the Middle East as well. I do think that's a problem sometimes.
Okay, I want to see where you're going with this, because we're talking about Hollywood. Carry on.
Well, it's like films like Argo Is it Argo?
The one with Ben Affleck,
yeah. I was reading a blog about that, saying that really kind of like misrepresents like the Middle East and people like that. And it's the fact that it's always America's view of the Middle East, and it's always defined by kind of rich white Americans. And there's a bit of a narrative. It's always America against the Middle East and stuff like that. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I don't think black people should have, or Africa. Don't understand why they're called African Americans. I think that's the most racist term.
Yeah.
Because they're not Africans. Unless they came off the boat, they were born in Africa, raised in Africa, just came over to America, they're not African Americans, okay?
Yeah.
Like, you don't call the white Americans European Americans. So
Yeah.
why would you call black people African Americans?
Yeah.
I just realised that if any Americans downloaded this episode, we've just been saying black the whole way through, they're going to think that we're horrible.
Yeah.
But in England, they're black people because they're black.
Yeah.
I'm brown. I'm Asian.
Yeah.
You're white. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not even... I don't even know what a point I was going to make. It's just I remembered that they call them African Americans.
Yeah.
Basically, black people, I don't think they have anything to worry about. They have their own cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have, they have a viewpoint. There are so many movies featuring black characters or just all black cast. Like, you've got Tyler Perry movies. Don't know anyone that watches them, but they're getting made. Someone's watching them.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's an issue with that. I think they're making an issue out of it.
Yeah.
Don't put too much stock in the Oscars, okay?
Yeah.
You're just making an issue out of nothing. Whereas there's so many other people that aren't represented. Because, like, you were talking earlier about Mexican people. Mexico's right next to America.
Yeah.
There's so many Mexican people in England.
In America.
In America.
Yeah.
So many. So, yeah, you're right. Maybe there should be more Mexicans people in Hollywood cinema. Or maybe they should have their own type of cinema. As in their own cinema for specifically Mexican audiences.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's nothing to worry about. Black people don't have anything to worry about. Because Oscars is just a random awards show. People aren't going to remember, like, a week after it happens. Not going to actually care that much. I mean, sure, it might be good for marketing yourself, but in the general consensus is, like, most mainstream audiences don't actually care about that.
Yeah. Also,
if they cared about it, they wouldn't be watching crap like Transformers, would they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So black people, I don't think they've got anything to worry about because there is a lot of prominent black people in cinema and making their own way in the world or in that industry.
Yeah.
I think a lot of other races are underrepresented. Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean, beyond like the obvious films that they talked about, what other films were there kind of really noted?
I think it's like, you know, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife?
Yeah.
I think she's one of the problems. She's sort of one of the people that started this whole thing, along with, what's his name, Spike Jones? Spike Lee, that's it. Spike Jones is the white one. Shit.
Well done, Darwin.
I quite like Spike Jones. Anyway.
You're like the people who constantly mistake Samuel L. Jackson and, is it Lawrence Fishburne as well?
Well, no, because Spike Lee and Spike Jones are two different races. They're both just called Spike.
Yeah, but you managed to do it in an even more racist way.
Well, they're both called Spike. I got confused.
Yeah.
But Jada Pinkett Smith, she's one of the reasons that I think this whole thing gained traction. It's because her husband, Will Smith, wasn't nominated for a movie that he did called Concussion. And she's saying saying the Oscars are racist and her husband didn't get nominated. Basically what she's saying is her husband didn't get nominated, so I'm playing the race card. That's what my interpretation was of that.
Is the fact he didn't get nominated because he's a shit actor?
Well, I wouldn't say maybe it just wasn't a good movie. I don't know, because I haven't really heard much about his movie.
Film in a long, long time.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. But it's called Concussion. I haven't heard much about it. Maybe that's the problem.
I think the thing is, like, the film Precious, from what I heard of it, it sounded like a decent enough story and actually good. It sounded like a good film with actually, you know, a nice storyline and stuff like that, and a good point to it. And some of the Smith films that Will Smith's in, they're not particularly great films, let's be honest.
No, I know.
They're not as good as Precious.
I can't remember the last good movie that he was in.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
It must have been, I
I don't know. It must have been like 10 years since his last good movie.
Yeah.
Easy. But actually, no, I liked I Am Legend. That's like the zombie one. No, they're not zombies. They were like vampire things.
Yeah.
But that's just because of I like genre type films anyway. So that's not... It could have been a shit movie, I don't know, but I like that type of movie.
Yeah.
But that was 2007, 2008, I think. But it's been a while. I think that's the problem. She just played the race card. It wasn't about the Oscars being racist. It was that movie itself wasn't exactly huge critically or like with audiences, and no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be talking about him. And that's another thing. I don't think people should be playing the race card. 'Cause sometimes it's not about that, and you just make people feel awkward.
Yeah. I think also, I think Dustin Hoffman made the point, is the fact that there's kind of other areas in society where you need to worry about racism. The fact that, there's a load of black guys getting shot all the time. That's
which is
something
what Straight Outta Compton's about, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Straight Outta Compton probably might, at least deserves probably a nomination.
Yeah, no, I think it should have been nominated for at least Best Picture, because I think they allow up to 10, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
There's got to be worse films than that.
Yeah, so that maybe that was... But then again, Straight Outta Compton came out, like, really early in the year.
Yeah.
Like, most of the nominated films usually come out towards the end of to the end of the year, don't they?
Yeah.
They leave it till the end. So Straight Outta Compton, I think, came out in summer. So it's a stupid time for it to come out. But then again, if it didn't come out in summer and it came out and competed against all the ones that were coming out for Oscar season, would people have paid that much attention to it?
Probably not.
Exactly. So it's never about which is the best movie.
Yeah.
It's about so many different things.
Yeah. Yeah. And like also Spike Lee. The problem with Spike Lee is his films don't really get nominated at the Oscars anyway.
The problem with Spike Lee is I don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
He's not very good, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember watching a movie of his and remembering it.
Yeah.
So it's all well and good saying he wants to be nominated and he's going to boycott because he wasn't. But you have to have something that's at least award-worthy. Like, I don't put much stock in the Oscars films, but they have their own structure. You know what you're getting, and it stays the same every year.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not saying any of the Oscars movies are awful. Most of them are, like, decent at least. It's just maybe not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they're awful films. Like, it's not like I'm going to gouge my eyes out while I'm watching them.
Yeah.
It's not in my taste, really.
Yeah. Also, it's just an overprivileged world. So why know? I really don't think it's like... It's not like a major problem. It's not kind of like...
it's not life-altering.
You know?
Yeah, I don't understand why people actually care at this point. Like, it never used to be this big of a deal. Like, it's only recently, right?
I mean...
When it first started, it was probably more credible, first of all.
Yeah.
But when it first started, it wasn't that big of a deal, these awards ceremonies.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think... You know Ice Cube, the rapper turned actor?
Yeah.
I think he was one of the people that either, like, produced it or wrote Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
He didn't seem that fussed that it wasn't nominated.
Yeah.
He just liked that people had been talking about it and watched it.
Yeah.
That's the way to be.
Yeah.
Why take yourself so seriously and want to be up for all these awards and do all this campaigning and go to all these ceremonies? Just be happy that your movie's liked. Because a lot of actors, producers, directors, whatever, don't get any work whatsoever. So you're one of the privileged people that does. It's an industry where most of the people in it are regularly out of work. So be lucky that you've got a movie or a TV show or whatever, and people have watched it and they've liked it and said, maybe it should be nominated for this award. Don't cry about it if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, you've got a paying job, which is rare. And then the thing actually gets released, again, rarer. People watch it and like it. That should be enough for you. It should be gratifying for you.
Yeah.
Isn't that why you'd get... If there's any other reason why you got into the industry, you should probably get out.
Yeah. It's ego, isn't it?
To be honest. Yeah. Like, if there's any other reason you got into the industry, whether it's to be famous or win awards or, be one of the highest grossing whatever... You should leave. Your job is about producing something and hoping it gets seen. And if it gets seen and people like it, that's great.
Yeah. Also, I mean, instead of going to bloody award shows, I'd be more kind of thinking about making my next film or working on that.
But what's his name? The one that did Birdman, Alejandro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing that during award season last year. He was doing The Revenant, right?
Yeah.
So some people are like that.
I like it when they send someone else to the bloody award ceremony.
You know, is it Woody Allen that never shows up for the Oscars?
Yeah, I love it. I do
Even
like
when
it,
he
yeah.
won. I like that.
Yeah.
I'd be like that type of person.
Yeah. The only time he ever attended the award ceremony was right after the Twin Towers attack, and there was some award show in New York. He attended for that just to tell filmmakers to still make films in New York.
But then I think he's just a type of person that just doesn't really go out unless he's doing some sort of work.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I do, because they really are self-congratulations. It's just a load of rich kind of people patting themselves on
It's
the back.
basically people, yeah. There's no point of it, I don't think.
That's why I think that's why people like watching Ricky Gervais so much at like the Golden
Yeah, because he just rips the shit out of them. He just says it like it is.
Yeah.
And they're all laughing along but dying inside.
Yeah.
It's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
And the way they look when they're laughing, it's just they're so overdoing it. You can tell it's so fake.
Yeah.
I liked it when you take the piss out of Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie in like the space of 5 seconds. I think that was for the Golden Globes. Yeah, that was for the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
About a movie that no one had watched, but it'd still been nominated. Again, makes no sense.
Yeah, that was an awful film, wasn't it?
I have not watched it. No one watched it, Matt. No one. Yeah, it still got nominated for all these awards. Like, the Golden Globes is the worst, though, because they nominate the most shit movies.
I know. God.
Because they split their categories as well. Mm. And it doesn't make sense because they've got like the comedy and musical, yet the one that always wins is neither.
Yeah.
It's like a drama that has a joke in it.
Yeah.
Or a couple of jokes in it. That's the one that wins.
Yeah.
Yet the musical they always nominate because there's not that many musicals that come out, right?
Yeah.
So slim pickings. They always pick something shit. Like, wasn't Burlesque nominated one year?
God.
Like, the star power and the acting prowess of Cher and Christina Aguilera. Wow. Mind blown.
Oh, God.
But yeah, it's just...
Cher doesn't even sing anymore. She just mimes, doesn't she?
Isn't that the same with all singers?
Yeah, but she's famous for it.
Do you? But she does the auto-tune.
Yeah.
That's how I first heard about it, the Believe song.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose.
Do you believe in life after life? I can feel something so deep inside. I really can't something.
To be fair, that's not actually too bad a song. I don't mind it.
I love that song.
Yeah.
I had it on cassette tape.
Yeah.
Do you remember those? Cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes. Oh.
It took up a lot of space having all these singles on cassette tape.
Well, that's the thing, where if you wanted to repeat a song, you had to rewind.
Yeah.
And hope
So
you
it was
land
like
on
the song's
right
over,
spot.
and then you're pressing, keeping rewind down, hold.
Yeah.
And then it stops, and it's like, I can start it again, press play.
Yeah.
Sitting on the windowsill with your Walkman and your headphones on, just listening to the same song over and over again.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're going to have to go back and spend 2 minutes rewinding it back to the beginning.
Oh.
So you can start again.
Fond memories, though. Oh, we should probably wrap up soon.
Yeah, we should probably wrap up. I think rant is pretty much over.
Yeah. You made some good points, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the industry could be racist. I mean, everyone's a bit racist, but I don't think it's the black people that are underrepresented because, yes, you do see them regularly on screen.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the ones that have to worry about anything. And also, who gives a shit about an award ceremony?
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
That's my main point. You're working.
Yeah.
Be happy.
The only other one thing I might add is, do you remember Matt Damon got into a bit of trouble? Something he said last year.
Did he say something last
Something
year?
about, you know, when you make a film, it's about kind of like African Americans, as it's called. You know, he said that it should have like an African American director. I'm not sure I entirely agree with that idea.
I understand trying to get the best person's perspective on it, but if it's a white director and they have a good perspective on it, that's fine.
Yeah. Like, I think...
Oh, do you know what's funny about the Smiths? Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. They go on about how they are going to be giving work to... They would only be working with black directors and whatever. All of his directors have been white, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So isn't that a sign of that racism does not play a part with him? seeing as though his white
Yeah.
directors feel that they can cast a black man.
Yeah.
And I think I read somewhere a lot of the people that work for their production company, most of them are white, or all of them
Yeah.
are white. So, maybe look at home before you start ranting about other people.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But
Anyway, Matt Damon. I think
getting back to my...
it might be easier.
Yeah.
It's like a shortcut if the guy is black, or the woman, or the director or producers are black, because they get the perspective. But I see no reason why a white director couldn't direct the movie.
If I wanted to make a film about kind of, slavery or something like that,
Yeah.
I'd like to feel I'd be able to do that and be able to make
Yeah.
a decent film.
But that's also like saying I can't direct a movie that has a white cast
Yeah.
just because I'm not white. It doesn't mean I don't know how you live. I'm surrounded by them all the time.
Yeah.
I see people all the time. I read books. I watch things. I am in society.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're a foreign concept to me.
Yeah.
Matt, I know you.
Yeah.
You're white, but I know who you are.
Yeah.
I understand white people because they're people. That's
Yeah.
the problem. That's the point. Everyone's a person.
Yeah.
It makes no difference who you are or the colour of your skin.
Yeah.
That's basically it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I can't understand. Matt Damon never says anything controversial.
I think what he said was like diversity in casting instead of diversity in kind of directing. He wasn't saying there should be no kind of like black directors or
Yeah.
any kind of.
And maybe he just wasn't coming across well. He's just trying to say...
Yeah.
Maybe he was doing what I was doing before. Trying to say something, but not knowing how to say it.
It does annoy me, like when people there's people who've done loads for there's loads of other people you could be going after for like racism. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
but then they
just
pick
go
off the
with
one person that's actually quite nice and they say
Yeah.
one wrong thing.
and it's almost always just a bad choice of words sometimes as
Yeah.
well. It's like when Tarantino. I'm not saying he's always a great example of. He does have an
Sanity?
obsession with the M word.
Yeah,
Which I'm
he
not.
does.
But it's like when he said like ghetto. The problem is it's a word that people still use though today.
Yeah.
It's-
I see... It depends on how you use the word. I don't
Yeah.
I don't see that anything wrong with me saying that as long as the person I'm saying that about or whatever isn't
Yeah.
offended. Like, that's another thing that still separates
Yeah.
people and shows the difference in race is people get offended. People are too politically correct.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, political correctness has gone mad. You're afraid to say anything
Yeah.
in case you might offend someone. But it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like the thing with the word ghetto. It's not exclusively kind of belongs to like black people. It's
No,
used
it
to be
doesn't.
used about the Jews as well. So I just think
I didn't even know that they were as referring to black people
Yeah.
or their
I was
areas.
like-
I just thought ghetto meant just a bit of a rough place.
yeah, it's
That I didn't realise it was racially motivated, that term of
it's
phrase.
to do with like kind of segregation, isn't it?
Well, I never understood that because guess what? I'm probably a normal human being that doesn't see race, Matt.
Yeah,
I didn't take it to mean that. That's
Yeah, but-
what I'm trying to say. It's just you shouldn't.
Yeah, but kind of like when if you're talking about like the Jews, it's about you always find like a lot of the Jews in one place, and that was like a deliberate policy by the Nazis and stuff like that.
Mm.
And so yeah, I just think sometimes words can get hijacked. I'm not Tarantino's biggest fan, but I didn't get quite the fuss that was made all over that.
Again, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah, in Golden Globes, he said the word ghetto.
I know
and
he says
everyone
a
was
lot of
having
things,
go at him.
Matt. That's probably why I don't know what you're talking about. I know he says a lot of things.
Yeah.
I just do my best to just keep away from it, really.
Yeah,
Because I like him. I don't want to not like him. So I don't... Because people... he's probably not saying anything that would offend me. It's just
Yeah.
maybe I'd just avoid it. I mean, what's the point in reading too much into it?
yeah,
I mean, he does cast black people a lot.
yeah. To be fair,
In prominent roles in his movies. I'm not going to call him a racist because he casts them a lot.
yeah,
And he gives them so much to work with.
yeah. And Jackie Brown's quite a good film, isn't it?
Yeah,
From what
no,
remember.
I think all of his movies feature black people prominently, right?
Yeah. Well, Samuel Jackson.
So he's like probably the one person that you can't call racist
Yeah.
in Hollywood.
I remember. I think Samuel Jackson actually defended him when Spike Lee criticised Tarantino.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
But yeah, I don't see how like anyone could actually call Quentin Tarantino racist when he's so comfortable with casting black
yeah.
people.
I just think...
Maybe that's why he's comfortable using the N-word.
I just think it's a bit overboard with that, though, sometimes.
I think he's a bit loopy, but I like his movies. Isn't that what matters?
Well, yeah.
That's probably why I'm trying to avoid all the other stuff. I do genuinely think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's not very much we can say about it. I'm just like, sure, there are racial issues. There's racial issues everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just a silly award ceremony that people are going to forget about.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Oscars matter. I think it's a bigger problem. I think, there is a bigger problem. It's just at the Oscars, you shouldn't pin everything on that.
Yeah.
Just worry about the stuff that matters. That's basically
I think that's
it.
a good idea.
Yeah. So if you disagree with us because you're racist, you can email us at thedorksdeduction@gmail.com. You could Facebook us. You could Twitter us. We're on YouTube, so you could do that thing. But yeah, I think we're all done.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Au revoir.
Salutations.
Yes.
Je n'ai pas de culotte.
Okay, I don't have a clue what you're saying now.
Okay, it means I don't have any pants.
Jesus.
All right, bye.
Okay.